It's my privateer 141. And I just put on a wolf tooth 32 tooth oval chainring. I wasn't sure if it's gonna fit because this is a pretty tight fit, and privateer says that it only fits at 32 tooth, and 32 round for sure, but that's what it comes with. But I wasn't sure about the oval. But let's look at it. So let's see, let me get the angle where you guys can see better. So right here where we're looking at is about right, space wise. So that's how you see the thinner part of that. So now it's getting, let me focus in that spot right there. Now it's really close, right? Look at that. It's only like from there to the chainstay. It's only like God, that's like only like 2 millimeters or so. It's a very close fit. Just a little, oops, just a little bigger. That's when the ring is the narrow section of the ring instead of the wide section, right? So it goes wider, wider, wider. Look at that. Pretty tight fit right there. So yes, I would say that's like 2 or 3 millimeters. Just kind of closer on camera, but it's it's a 2, maybe 2.5 millimeters. So it's enough. I think it's enough. I'm gonna go on the ride now. So this little dirty mark that you see right here, that's from the last ride. This is from the last the original ring, the original SRAM 32 tooth round ring. This is a SRAM GX. GX. But the good thing about this is that because of how the suspension works, with the pivot is right here, right? As the suspension compresses, this will actually move away, so you will actually get more clearance. So even if I sit on it, the sag will give me more clearance here. So it should be fine. I'm not worried about it. I wanted that over ring on my YT. I put an over ring on that, and I got used to it. And when I got this back, riding with a round ring, man, it felt really weird. It felt off. It didn't feel, the pedaling didn't feel smooth. The over ring makes you feel a lot smoother because the nature of an over ring and how it works. Because the way our legs, our anatomy works, is that our legs, even though our feet is spinning around in a circle right here, how our legs is not really spinning, right? So the oval kind of compensates for that. So it makes our legs feel more even. For example, right about here, this is where the power stroke is, and that's where the oval it starts to expand right here. This part right here, this part that's coming up, is bigger in diameter, has a greater diameter, not diameter, a radius, or a larger radius right here. So because our power stroke is right there, we could get away with having more power coming on right here. But say right here, at the end of the power stroke, where we have less power, the radius becomes smaller, so that way it gives us a little bit more leverage. It's easier for our legs, so it feels more natural. Otherwise, because if everything's the same, at this part right here, if it's bigger, it will feel actually harder on our legs. So that's why it feels weird. That's why a round chain ring feels kind of odd. It doesn't feel, it doesn't feel like it's spinning around in a circle, but with the oval, it does feel like it's spinning around in a circle. If that makes sense, you won't quite notice it until you actually ride it and get used to it, and you go back to a round. You're like, whoa. If you ride a round and you go to an oval, you don't feel much of a difference because you're so used to the round. But you go from the oval to the round, you're like, whoa. You really feel the difference. You really notice that. Anyways, yeah, that's So I just put this on just like 20 minutes ago, so I'm gonna go on the ride now and see how it feels. I want to see how my how the suspension feels too, because I just I think that on the previous video of this, I actually took off the volume spacers, and I also took off the stroke spacer. So the original stroke is supposed to have what was it, 57 and a half, 57 and a half, so I took off some stroke spacers, and now I think I have I think I took off 5 millimeters, so now I have 62 and a half, I believe. So that it still has one spacer in there, which each spacer is each stroke spacer is 2.5 millimeters. So there was 3 stroke spacers. So it's 57 and a half plus 2.5 times 3. 2.5 times 3 is 7 and a half. Because 2.5 is 5, 6, 7, 7 and a half. So 67 and a half. That means 57 and a half. That means if you take all the stroke spacers, it would have 65 millimeters, but I have one in there, so it's actually only 62 and a half. And obviously I had to change the pressure. Prior to having the stroke spacers and the volume spacers, my pressure was, I think, 110, if I can remember right. Since 110, and I had 20 millimeters of sag, approximately 20 millimeters. It's not 20 millimeters, I mean 20%, approximately 20% of sag. But since I took out all those stuff, what it is now, to get the same 20 millimeters of sag, I'm actually at I think 130 pounds. So basically I had to add 20 pounds of pressure. So anyways, that's it for now for the update for my privateer. I'm gonna go on a ride and see how it goes. Thanks for watching.